Well, hello and welcome to News Hour on Voice of the People TV. I am Vivian Uguche. Before we begin the news, kindly visit our website at www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Here are the headlines. Jamb to hold additional Mop-Up exam for absent candidates. An IGP orders probe into killing of WASC candidate in Ibadan. Federal government places 5 million naira bounty on fleeing inmates of Elisha prison. And Minister EFCC chair inspect housing estate recovered from Emefiele. Federal government opposes live streaming of Nnamdi Kanu's trial. And reps to investigate non-payment of presidential wage award to pensioners. On the foreign scene, British tourist arrested in Namibia over nude photos of children. And business, Nigeria's external debt service bill hits 2.01 billion naira in 4 months. And sports news, Shell drops Osimhen Lookman from Super Eagles squad. And in the world of entertainment, Billboard recognizes Olamide as one of 2025 global power players. Now the news in detail. Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board says it will conduct additional Mop-Up examinations for candidates who missed the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. Jamb Registrar Professor Ishak Oloyede stated this in Abuja at a meeting with key stakeholders to address the challenges encountered during the 2025 UTME. Oloyede said that the board would accommodate the estimated 5.6% of candidates who missed the examination by organizing a special mop-up exercise. He said that the board had extended the opportunity to all the affected candidates, regardless of the reasons for their absence. Oloyede criticized some public commentators who misunderstood and misrepresented the role of UTME, while clarifying that UTME was a placement test and not an achievement test. The registrar further stated that high UTME score was not the sole determinant of admissions, adding that combined performance, including post-UTME scores and school assessment, could significantly affect the candidate's ranking. He expressed Jamb's commitment to resolving issues affecting the examinations process, even as he rejected comments suggesting that the administrative failure was due to incompetence or ethnic bias. In another development, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered a full-scale investigation into the death of 14-year-old Kehinde Alade in Oyo State, following a reported altercation involving operatives of the Oyo State Police Command and the Oyo State Traffic Management Authority. The force headquarters in a statement said the IGP condemned the incident, describing it as tragic and deeply regrettable. He confirmed that the officer allegedly responsible for the fatal shooting has been taken into custody and assured the public that the investigation will be thorough and transparent. The force reaffirmed its commitment to the protection of lives and property and called on Nigerians to remain law-abiding while channeling any grievances through peaceful and lawful means. Moving on, the federal government has announced a cash reward of 5 million naira for information that could lead to the recapture of the 7 inmates who escaped from the Medium Custodial Center in Osun State. Public Relations Officer of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Abubakar Umar, disclosed this in a statement in Abuja. The service urges members of the public to report any information they may have regarding the whereabouts of the inmates at large to the nearest security agencies, adding that all information will be treated with confidentiality and anonymity. Well, this report says that the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Dangiwa, and the Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ola Olukoyede, have jointly inspected a seized 753 units housing estate comprising 753 units previously owned by former Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele. The estate, located in Abuja, was recovered by the EFCC and officially handed over to the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development in line with a directive from President Bola Tinubu. Speaking during the inspection, Dangiwa disclosed that the ministry would immediately commence technical assessments by conducting integrity tests on the buildings. He noted that upon successful evaluation, The housing units will be completed and made available for purchase by Nigerians through the renewed Hope Housing Portal. On his part, EFCC Chairman Olukoyede emphasized the importance of public trust and transparency in the agency's work. And on to legal matters. The federal government has kicked against live streaming of court proceedings in the trial of the Biafra agitator Nnamdi Kanu. The federal government, through its lawyer Adegboyega Awomolo, kicked against a request made by Kanu's family for live streaming of the proceedings. At the resumption of trial, Kanu's lead counsel, Kanu Agabi, drew the attention of the court to a letter by Awomolo. In the letter dated 14 May 2025, the federal government lawyer recommended that the use of phones be banned from the courtroom henceforth. The lawyer lamented the action of Aloy Ejimako, a member of Kanu's team, who posts alleged misleading information on social media. He accused Ejimako of posting misleading, embarrassing, and unpleasant commentaries on the social media. Agabi, Kanu's lead lawyer, equally condemned Ejimako's action. He apologized over the conduct and promised that such will not repeat itself. In his reaction, Justice James Omotosho expressed displeasure over what he described as unprofessional conduct among Kanu's legal team. He described Ejimako and others as mere content creators who do not want the trial to end for their selfish interests. The judge charged all parties in the case, especially those prosecuting the trial in the social media, to act professionally so as not to have themselves to blame. And away from that story, the House of Representatives has resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the delayed implementation of the 25,000 Naira wage award and 32,000 Naira palliative approved by President Bola Tinubu for Nigerian pensioners nearly 2 years ago. The resolution followed a motion moved by Deputy Chief Whip Ibrahim Ayokunle Ishiaka during plenary. The House expressed concerns over the prolonged non-payment of the presidentially approved support packages and called for urgent action to address the situation. As part of its resolution, the House directed the Ministry of Labour and Employment and the National Pension Commission to carry out a comprehensive audit of pension payments nationwide to ensure transparency in the disbursement process. The lawmakers also urged state governments to take a cue from the federal government by prioritizing pension payments and welfare programs for retirees in their respective states. The House also appealed to the Nigerian Pensioners Association and other stakeholders to work closely with government agencies to advocate for and monitor the enforcement of pensioners' rights and welfare. In the Red Chamber, the Senate has passed for second reading a bill that seeks to regulate informal employment and authorize the licensing of private job agencies to protect the rights of informal workers. Titled the Informal Sector Private Employment Agencies Bill 2025, the proposed legislation is sponsored by Senator Mohammed Sani Musa. The bill aims to formalize employment in the informal sector, which includes domestic workers, apprentices, interns, and other unregulated jobs. Leading the debate during plenary, Senator Musa said the bill was designed to address labor rights violations, abuse, and the lack of regulation in the informal sector. He further explained that licensed agencies will be mandated to maintain a database of informal sector employees, protect their rights, and ensure that recruitment is conducted only by employers engaged in legitimate occupations and under fair conditions. The bill also proposes that the NDE appoint licensing officers nationwide to monitor compliance and enforce the proposed regulations. There was a lone voice in opposition, but the bill was, however, passed for second reading and subsequently referred to the Senate Committee on Labor and Employment, which is expected to report back in 6 weeks. Still in the Red Chamber, the Senate has expressed concerns over the increasing use of harmful chemicals, especially calcium carbide, by fruit vendors to artificially ripen fruits. Lawmakers resolved to amend existing laws to make this practice a criminal offense. Senators described the use of such hazardous substances as a significant public health risk to consumers nationwide and called for further investigations into the issue. The move followed a motion sponsored by Senator Anthony Okorie-Ani, He urged relevant regulatory agencies to intervene promptly. Senator Annie highlighted that exposure to toxic chemicals used in fruit ripening has been linked to serious health problems, including cancer, kidney failure, and other life-threatening conditions. In response, the Senate mandated the National Assembly for Food and Drug Administration and Control and the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security to investigate the growing prevalence of the harmful practice. The lawmakers also proposed stiffer penalties for offenders to act as a deterrent and protect the health of Nigerians. The motion has been referred to the Senate Committees on Health and Agriculture for further legislative review and action. And away from the National Assembly, some young Nigerian professionals have stormed the United Arab Emirates Embassy in Abuja, demanding that the country deport Mele Kyari, a former Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, to answer questions over alleged corruption during his tenure. The protesters, under the aegis of Young Professionals Forum, said Kyari's presence in Nigeria is required in the probe of the financial activities of the National Oil Company during his tenure as Group Chief Executive Officer. Sambari Benjamin, who spoke for the protesters, alleged that Kyari's alleged corrupt practices have had far-reaching implications for Nigeria's economy, particularly the country's energy sector. According to the protesters, Kyari's tenure was marked by alleged deliberate obstruction of local refining initiatives, disregard for national interests, and personal enrichment. The Young Professionals Forum went on to urge the UAE government to refuse Kyari's presidency or residency and asylum. The group stressed that granting Kyari asylum would undermine the rule of law and set a dangerous precedent for other public officials who might seek to escape accountability by fleeing abroad. In another development, President Bola Tinubu has congratulated two British Nigerians, Okpeyemi Bright and Jason Jackson, on their election and inauguration as mayors in London. The president commended Bright and Jackson for sustaining the legacy of good works by Nigerians in the diaspora and consistently promoting the values of honesty, integrity, hard work, and commitment to the well-being of others. The president's spokesman, Bayo Onanuga, said in a statement that their stories would inspire countless young people to pursue excellence and serve their communities with distinction. Bright was sworn in as the civic mayor of Barking and Dagenham, making history as the borough's youngest ever mayor at just 29. Jackson also became the first Nigerian-born mayor of Islington since the borough's establishment in the 1900s. Well, you're still watching News Hour on Voice of the People TV. More stories after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back to News Hour on VOP TV. Now, President Bola Tinubu has identified food security along with regional economic inclusion as the main determinant of Nigeria's path to long-term stability. The president, who spoke in Jalingo at the opening of Taraba International Investment Summit 2025, described the state as a cornerstone of Nigeria's agricultural and industrial future. Represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima at the summit, President Tinubu reaffirmed his administration's commitment to transforming Nigeria's economy from the ground up by leveraging local resources and decentralizing development. The president praised Taraba's vast agricultural assets, calling for a shift from subsistence farming to industrial-scale food production. Well, here in Lagos, the state government has approved 2 bills for submission to the State House of Assembly aimed at reforming land administration and marriage registration procedures. The State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Lawal Pedro, announced the development at the 2025 Lagos State Ministerial Press Briefing to mark the 2nd year of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's 2nd term in office. Pedro disclosed that one of the bills proposes establishment of a pending litigation registry to record all litigations concerning land matters. The commissioner said that the registry would be expected to protect members of the public from unknowingly engaging in transactions on disputed property. He said that the second bill sought to establish a marriage and dissolution registry to register all forms of marriages conducted in the state and issue official certificates. Well, staying with Lagos, the state task force has arrested 41 suspects during a coordinated cleanup and enforcement operation across multiple locations on Lagos Island. The Director of Public Affairs, Gbadeniyan Abdul Rahim, disclosed in a statement that the operation targeted areas known for criminal activity, including Ikoyi, Victoria Island, Falomo, Osborne Road, Echo Hotel, Axis, Lekki Road, and Obalende. Abdul Rahim explained that the raid was part of the state government's ongoing cleanup enforcement campaign aimed at flushing out miscreants, street urchins, hooligans, pickpockets, and other suspected criminals from the metropolis. Well, let's take a quick trip to Rivers State now, where political tension continues to escalate as reconciliation talks between Siminalayi Fubara and the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike take center stage. Amid growing speculation over a possible defection, key stakeholders are urging a shift in focus from party politics to effective governance. VOP TV's correspondent Marcio Gunswada has the latest on the unfolding political drama, but we will bring you that report in a short while. Meantime, a Edo chapter of the People's Democratic Party has called on the state government to obey court rulings reinstating elected local government chairmen in the state. Chairman of the PDP Caretaker Committee, Tony Asegbemi, made a call at a news conference in Benin City. He said the High Court had begun delivering judgments in favor of the lawfully elected council chairmen who were illegally removed from office. He cited the case of Akoko Edo chairman Tajuddin Alade, who was reinstated by the court but could not return to his office. Azegbemi alleged that the rise in insecurity and poverty in Edo was due to the collapse of governance at the local government level, which remained closest to the people. Well, it's time for another short break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV, now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice. Good morning. It's the start of a beautiful day. Or start your day right with a healthy dose of news, fun, and inspiration. Join us on VOP this morning for the latest news, trending topics, and uplifting stories to set your day on the right vibe. From news and current events to lifestyle and entertainment, you are covered. VOP This Morning, 8 a.m., Monday through Friday.
Welcome everyone on the foreign scene now. A British national has been arrested in Namibia for allegedly sexually molesting minors and taking nude photographs of them. Douglas Rupert Brooke is also accused of touching the children inappropriately while on a holiday in central Namibia. Police said the suspect targeted young boys and girls from the indigenous San community in the central Ojuzunjupa region. The 65-year-old Briton faces 38 charges including rape, indecent assault, and child exploitation. He was arrested after he allegedly lured 34 young children with sweets and money to take their photos while they were naked. Well, away from that report, the UN says no aid has yet been distributed in Gaza despite aid lorries starting to cross the border after an 11-week blockade. Israeli officials said 93 trucks entered Gaza on Tuesday carrying an aid including flour, baby food, medical equipment, and pharmaceutical drugs. But the UN said that despite trucks reaching the Palestinian side of the Kerem Shalom crossing, no aid has been distributed so far. Its spokesperson Stephanie Jurzik said that the team waited several hours for Israel to allow them to access the area. But unfortunately, they were not able to bring those supplies into the UN warehouse. Meanwhile, the Hamas-run Civil Defense Service said on Wednesday that 15 people, including a child, were killed in airstrikes, since midnight local time. Israel agreed on Sunday to allow a basic amount of food to enter Gaza, where global experts have warned of a looming famine. International pressure on Israel has also continued to grow. The UK said it will be suspending trade talks over what it described as Israel's morally unjustifiable military escalation in Gaza, with Prime Minister Keir Starmer describing the situation as intolerable. Elsewhere, Ukraine's National Guard says a Russian missile strike on a training exercise in Ukraine's Sumy border region has killed 6 servicemen and wounded more than 10 others. Russia's defense ministry had earlier released a video purporting to show a missile attack on a training camp, and state news agency TASS said up to 70 people had died. The Sumy region has come under repeated bombardment, and Ukraine launched a months-long occupation of part of Russia's neighboring Kursk region from there. The Ukrainian military said the aim of the offensive had been to help create a buffer zone to protect Sumy, but some have complained of the scale of military losses. Separately, the Kremlin said President Vladimir Putin had visited officials in Kursk the previous day, in his first visit to the region since Ukrainian forces were pushed out. In another development, the Canadian government says it is in talks with the U.S. over joining its proposed Golden Dome missile defense system aimed at countering next-generation aerial threats. Prime Minister Mark Carney's office said there are active discussions between Canada and the U.S. on security, including on existing and new programs like the Golden Dome. U.S. President Donald Trump, who unveiled the plan for the new missile defense system, announcing an initial price tag of $25 billion, said Canada was interested in joining the project. Canada's openness to joining the proposed Golden Dome system comes amid ongoing trade and security negotiations between the two countries after Trump threatened steep tariffs on Canada and said it will be better off as a U.S. state. In Asia, a bomb attack on a school bus in Pakistan's Balochistan region has killed at least 5 people and injured dozens. The bus was carrying around 40 school children when it exploded outside the remote town of Kusta. Police said 3 of the 5 people killed are children. Pictures circulating on social media show the charred wreckage of a large bus with backpacks scattered around it. No group has claimed responsibility for the incident so far, but Balochistan, a turbulent province in the country's southwest, has been plagued by a long-standing insurgency and human rights violations. Pakistan's Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi condemned the incident as sheer barbarism, accusing the attackers of attempting to destabilize the country. And now, this report says that world leaders have pledged an additional $170 million to the World Health Organization during a high-level pledging event at the 78th World Health Assembly in Geneva, Switzerland. In a statement issued by Global Health Organization, the contributions were made in support of WHO's ongoing investment round aimed at addressing rising global health challenges. WHO Director General Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus expressed gratitude to all member states and partners who contributed to the IR. Speakers at the event underscored the importance of continued investment in WHO, particularly emphasizing the strategic value of flexible and diversified financing to keep the organization responsive, country-focused, and aligned with national health policies. In Europe, Sweden's parliament has passed a bill to finance a new generation of nuclear reactors the government says are key to energy security and achieving net zero emissions by 2045. The government plans 4 large-scale reactors with installed capacity of around 5,000 megawatts, or the equivalent in small modular reactors. Half of that should be on stream by 2035, according to the government. Well, in business news, Nigeria spent over $2.01 billion on external debt servicing between January and April 2025, marking a 50% jump compared to the same period in 2024. The Central Bank of Nigeria's international payments data on its website shows that debt service costs now account for more than 3/4 of the country's total foreign outflows. This development highlights the mounting pressure Nigeria faces in managing its external obligations and persistent foreign exchange challenges and a fragile revenue base. According to the CBN report, total international payments, including debt servicing, remittances, and letters of credit, stood at $2.60 billion in the first 4 months of 2025. Out of this, debt service alone accounted for $2.01 billion. While still talking business, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry has urged the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to take a callous stance on monetary policy while providing clear signals of potential interest rate cuts. The Director General of SCCI, Chinyere Almona, in a statement in Lagos, made this call following the decision of CBN to maintain the monetary policy rate at 27.5%. Almona said that the advice was necessary due to sustained economic improvements in the country. She said while the recent marginal decline in headline inflation offered some relief, a cautious stand by the CBN was critical. She noted that in spite of the drop in inflation to 23.71%, Nigeria's macroeconomic conditions remained harsh. She also said that the premature reduction in interest rates under such conditions could undermine investors' confidence and raise doubts about the commitment of the CBN to price stability. Elsewhere, Britain suffered a bigger-than-expected inflation surge in April, prompting investors to bet on the Bank of England slowing its already gradual pace of interest rate cuts. The annual inflation rate hit 3.5% in April, its highest reading since January 2024. The increase from 2.6% in March was the largest between 2 months since 2022, when price growth was rocketing above 10%. A jump in airfares over the Eastern holiday, was a driver of the sharp climb. The Bank of England earlier this month had projected consumer price inflation of 3.4%. Britain now has the second highest inflation rate of any major Western European economy, behind the Netherlands. The data will add to unease over the outlook for Britain's economy, which grew strongly in early 2025 but is likely to slow. Reacting to the data, Finance Minister Rachel Reeves said she was disappointed. Well, in sports news, the head coach of the Super Eagles, Eric Chal, has left Victor Osimhen and Ademola Lookman out of his squad for playing Ghana in the Unity Cup. This was confirmed after the Nigeria Football Federation released the list of invited players. Osimhen and Lookman will also miss Nigeria's games against Russia. However, there is a return for goalkeeper Maduka Okoye, Frank Onyeka, Kelechi Iheanacho, and captain Ahmed Musa. Still talking football, Nigeria international Semi Ajayi have been released by West Bromwich Albion after 6 years. Ajayi's departure was confirmed after West Brom unveiled their men's retained and released lists following the conclusion of the 2024-2025 campaign. Ajayi joined in the summer of 2019 and played instrumental roles in helping the Baggies achieve automatic promotion to the Premier League. The Nigerian, who made 177 appearances for the club, scored 13 goals for Albion across his 6 years. And now, 3 days into the ongoing National Sports Festival in Abeokuta, Bayelsa is leading the medals table with 12 gold, 6 silver and 3 bronze medals. According to the official medals table released by the technical team of the NSR tagged Gateway Games 2024, that Ogun is second with 6 gold medals. The table also showed that Rivers State is third with 5 golds, 3 silver and 1 bronze medal. Lagos State is occupying the 4th position with 4 gold, 7 silver and 7 bronze medals, followed by Delta State with 4 gold, 4 silver and bronze medals. The table further showed that a total of 152 medals have so far been won by various states participating in the festival. Meanwhile, Team Ogun has won the first gold medal in the swimming event at the ongoing 2024 National Sports Festival in the state. Amotola beat other competitors in the ultimate prize in the women 800 million freestyle. She took first position in the fiercely contested race, while Okadokas of Team Bayelsa came second. Deborah Apochini of Delta State took the 3rd position. Well, in the world of entertainment, multi-award winning rapper Olamide has been named by Billboard as one of the global power players in 2025. The YBNL label boss was honored for his accomplishment in leading the company behind Nigerian superstars Shake and Fireboy, who both released new albums in 2024. Speaking to Billboard, Olamide shared that YBNL has solidified its presence in the global scene while using collaborations as a springboard to connect with a bigger market. Olamide's recognition by Billboard as one of the global power players is a testament to his status as a successful label boss, under whose leadership stars like Lil Kesh, Adekunle Gold, Ashake, Fireboy, Young John, and Phil's gained mainstream success. But still in entertainment news, 5-time Grammy-nominated superstar Davido and fast-rising Afrobeat star Chella are among the artists whose songs have been piped by Spotify to be one of the anthems for summer 2025. Davido's hit single With You, featuring Omalay, and Chella's viral hit My Darling, made the list, which also included the trending global hit, Shake It to the Max by Ghanaian star Molly. Among the songs that made the list are Alex Warren's viral TikTok hit Ordinary, Charlie XCX's Party For You, and Drake and Party Next Door's Nokia, which made many consider the leading contender. Davido and Chella's inclusion on Spotify's 2025 Summer List is another testament to their popularity and the global acceptance of Afrobeats. Elsewhere in the world of entertainment, US singer Chris Brown has been freed on bail by a court in London after being charged with inflicting an unprovoked attack in a nightclub in 2023. The Grammy-winning star, who has not yet been asked to enter a plea in the case, is able to begin his world tour next month as planned and as part of his bail conditions. He was arrested last week and later charged with grievous bodily harm over an incident in which he allegedly attacked a music producer with a tequila bottle at the Nape nightclub in London's Mayfair. The 36-year-old was not present at Southwark Crown Court for the bail hearing, at which the judge said he must pay a £5 million security fee to the court. Moving on, American rapper Kid Cudi is set to testify later this week in Diddy's sex trafficking trial. According to court documents, 2 more witnesses are set to testify before Cudi, who should take the stand on Friday. Cudi's relationship with Cassie has been a recurring theme throughout the first 2 weeks of Diddy's highly publicized trial. Cudi and Cassie briefly dated in 2011 behind Diddy's back. And that wraps it up for us in News Hour. But before we go, a quick look at the headlines. We told you that the IGP has ordered probe into the killing of a WASC candidate in Ibadan. FG places 5 million naira bounty on fleeing inmates of Ilesha prison. Minister and EFCC chair inspect housing estate recovered from Emefiele. And federal government opposes live streaming of Nnamdi Kanu's trial. Reps to investigate non-payment of presidential wage award to pensioners. On the foreign scene, British tourists arrested in Namibia over nude photos of children. And business, Nigeria's external debt service bill hits $2.01 billion in 4 months. And in sports news, Chelsea drops Osimhen and Lookman from Super Eagles squad. The world of entertainment, Billboard recognizes Olamide as one of 2025 global power players. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV. On other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. I am Vivian Oguche, and thank you for joining us.